Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Arknights reaction. Today we have Chapter 15's boss battle theme, Dissociative Recombination. This was requested by Asaki in the last comment section, and a lot of people wanted me to get to it, so that's what we're doing today, as we all know, and of course I'll be listening to all phases of it, so without further ado, let's go! Oh, it'll have little markers for which phase we're in. Fair enough. Okay. Little break core to begin with. Bold moves. Oh, this is interesting. Mostly because I don't know where it's going to end up, but... Whew. Alright. I mean, so far the sound design of this has been beautiful. Lots of moving around in the ears. This is wild. I don't think I've ever heard a song that sounds like this in this game. And a complete mood shift. Very heavily detuned, too. Ooh, getting even more detuned as we go. Oh, we're back in. Okay. This is wild. This is still phase 1? Jesus. There's just so much for a single phase. The asynchronous rhythm is really messing with me. But that's definitely the point. You don't have something like Dissociative in the title and not have that confusion portrayed, you know? Interesting. This is different, very different from the usual stuff. I don't usually get boss battle themes and such, so it feels weird when they show up and when they're this unique too. Okay. Ominous atmosphere. Much more so than phase 1. That makes sense. The boss is starting to feel more threatened. And they want you to feel threatened, so win-win. I like how this one sounds more labored than the other one did. It definitely sounds more like they're struggling to keep this up. Still having fun with those sound design things in there. It's kind of a vibe though. I really like the way this one feels. Especially compared to the first one. It's just like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's not be too rash. Not too hasty. Maybe we can work something out. Oh, that was it? It was just phase 1 and 2? Oh, I thought we were gonna get a phase 3. Interesting. I'm used to phase 1 through 3, but I guess this one only has 2. Okay. This theme is really interesting to me because it has a lot of horror elements in it. I mean, the first half of that song, which again, I thought it was going to be 3 phases, but I'm actually really surprised it was only 2. Like, I was totally ready for there to be another phase that was about the same length as the prior 2, but it never came, and I'm not mad about that by any means. It doesn't like affect my opinion of the song. It's just kind of what I was anticipating, and it never happened. I thought we were going to be getting darker or maybe a little bit more pleading by the end, but that second phase was so pleading, it makes sense why they didn't go even further than that. And the horror elements in there definitely have a place with that pleading energy. Like the first half, just to kind of back up and start there, the first half was interesting because it felt like it was trying to pressure you, threaten you, make you feel anxiety. Everything in there from the sound design just kind of bouncing around the ears. It wasn't really relenting in any way, shape, or form. It was just constant energy punching you in the face. And it was basically just like, don't do this. We're gonna, okay, let's square up. Like, it was a very aggressive energy. Like, you have pissed off mom and mom is going to smack the fuck out of you, and that's what you were getting here. But then the second half shifted all of that into that more pleading energy where it's like, oh, you were doing better than they thought, and now they're like, I'm sorry, hold up, maybe we can have a conversation. Like I said in the reaction, that was my initial thought when that song started playing the way it did, because I'm like, well, where's the energy from the first one? Maybe you did so well that it like threw their expectations of your skill off, and they were like, shit, I didn't know you were that good. I didn't know you stood on that business. Maybe we should talk about this a little bit. Let's back up. Let's chill. I'm sorry. But and like that's kind of where the battle feels like it went, and you are now in the position of power in that way. It still had horror elements, but it went from like a psychological thriller to more of like a traditional like psych horror, where in one you're constantly running away from an active threat and you don't know if you're going to be able to survive the night, versus there is a looming threat, but you don't know who they are, where they are, or when they are. It basically went from like Friday the 13th to It Follows. It's a completely different energy. And you're like, I mean, the threat is still there. There's still something trying to hurt you, but it changes from that. And it's not your perspective. It's the villain's perspective. It's the boss's perspective feeling that. So they started out going, okay, I've got to beat this guy, to, whoa, I didn't know you were about that life. And that's just a really cool take on it. That's a really neat approach. In a lot of ways, this one kind of reminded me of the Limbus Company core suppression stuff, the Library of Ruina horror aspects that are in those songs. Their boss themes, especially the core suppression stuff, has a lot of this going on. You could have told me that this was Studio EIM that made this song and I would have believed you. The mixing is a little bit different. They tend to be a little bit lighter on the mixing. This felt a lot more like intricate with how it was mixed. The low ends felt a little bit more beefy. They do a fine mixing job at Studio EIM as well, but it just feels different. There's always going to be unique characteristics between who's producing a song and who's doing the final mix and everything, so like that's not really a factor here, but this one just was unique enough that I could tell it wasn't them, but you could have fooled me if you had said so. And for another parallel, it almost sounds a lot like how Portal was trying to get you to feel about GLaDOS the whole game, where like, yeah, sure, the sound design aspects of this one being like that robotic voice plays into that, and I'm sure that has something to do with the character, where it's like a sentient computer trying to get you, the human, with your subjective opinions to see their side of things, the logical side of things that they get. Very Ultron as well, just like, hey, maybe we should do this instead because humans are kind of stupid, let's do this. And the humans that fight back against that, and they're like, no, you weren't supposed to fight back, how dare you, guess I gotta kill you now. And that's just the whole story here. That's the energy I'm getting from this one. That's the closest parallels I've got. That's what I'm feeling out of this. But also, like I mentioned in the first half, there is definitely a dissociative sound to this. That breakcore stuff, the break beats, like all that sound in there, the rhythms literally not lining up and being asynchronous is really interesting because that works with the concept concept of dissociative mental disorders in a way where, like, again, I'm assuming that this is a computer, so it's maybe more or less an overload of information, or like the concept that you are fighting against them is a logical option they did not anticipate, so they're kind of panicking a little bit and trying to scramble all their thoughts together in a way. They're having a system malfunction that would work with the song for obvious reasons. So like this kind of is what I'm getting from this song. Like that first half was just that computer system trying to panic its way into an answer of how to handle certain situations, and that logical answer to themselves was remove the problem in order to solve the issue. And then that second half mostly just being them kind of trying to come to terms with, oh, you were this serious about me being wrong, maybe I should listen to you, question mark, maybe I was wrong. Or they're lamenting that you didn't see their vision, which to me feels a lot more like that Ultron comparison that I had, especially his last moments with Vision in the MCU. That's very much the scene I get in my head. It's just that conversation of humans are stupid, I can't believe you don't see this, and them going, that's the beauty of humanity, they're flawed. And that's the conversation you're kind of having during that second half. Lots of parallels there. I'm sure a lot of you are like, ugh, I can't believe he's bringing Marvel into this, but it's a good comparison. That character works very well for this, at least for what I'm getting out of this story and out of these songs. That feels very appropriate, and that's kind of the long and short of my opinions on this one. Beautiful sound design, again, like I want to mention that one more time. Great horror elements, throwing those in there, kind of keeping you constantly on edge, unaware of what the real answer is going to be, where the story might turn. You're never fully positive at any point during the song because of all that hectic energy in the first part, and you can't really land any brain power onto what the answer is going to be when the rhythm is that messy. And then the second half kind of making you go, what are they thinking? Like, are they telling me the truth? Am I being fed lies? I can't trust you. And there's that air of mystery around it that I really like. So they did a great job on this one. And I haven't, again, heard many boss battle themes from this game. I think I've heard a few, but not enough to be comfortable or aware of how they handle different things. And I really like how they handled this one. If this is what they're all like, I'm going to enjoy every single one of them. But that's where I'll stop yapping today. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to request something else from Arknights, leave it in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to it. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!